Hi, Zeus here. Today I won my level 17 gold tier boss battle and wanted to show you the combat at 4 engines. Won 9 of the last 10 and got onto the US leaderboard number 355. I'm also going to show you my tech tree.
Waiting for a war, we bring the war to them.
So with my latest win, I'm just on the US leaderboard ahead of Skull Crusher, my buddy I've been playing a lot of Boom Beach Frontlines with lately. And let's see if I can win my boss battle for level 17 on the first try. So my technique, I'm looking for mines that I can either barrage out of existence or use critters to get rid of. Because if I can get rid of a lot of mines, then my clone rifleman will survive longer and do better protecting my Zookas. And the best result is going to be achieved if every single one of the 4 boats of 13 Zookas get all the way to the end, because that's where the real firepower is from the meta that I'm using. And I do a split drop. I usually land 1 boat of clone riflemen and the 2 Zookas on each of the left and the right, and then on a delayed basis, a second boat of clone riflemen. And then I start throwing down the critter boxes and the barrages to clear out the mines that are problematic that might actually cause my troops to die. So things are going pretty well here. I've thrown down a couple of pretty good critter boxes that have wiped out a lot of his mines, and I did 1 barrage at the very beginning on the left. You also have to shock machine guns and flamethrowers. Flamethrowers are actually more important because they can do more damage on a sustained basis to the clone rifleman. There I threw down another shock on a machine gun. And then the final few seconds are really important. You've got to focus on taking down the 1 engine and immediately flare to the 2nd engine as fast as you can. And then if you've got it, put down a shock to prevent any of your Zookas from dying in the final few seconds of the battle. So that was a pretty good time. Let's see how we did. Oh, awesome. So that's level 17 boss battle success, first try. And I'll take that chest. Let's see how my opponent did against my base, then I'll explain to you why my base is so good. I have to confess, I stole this design off of one of the global leaders who had a really good win ratio, which, it's always a great idea to take somebody else's successful base and go with it. So he's putting it all in on the left, and then he's using barrage to knock down my 4th engine. So, in theory, that should save him a lot of time, except that along the way, he's lost a tremendous number of his Zookas. So that's really going to slow him down a lot. And anyway, he lost enough Zookas to slow him down enough that it was problematic. And you see right here at the end, he's got very few Zookas left. Probably only about half. So I think that was the difference in his attack. So it's just a really tricky base, and you got to be really careful. All right, let's go, and I'll show you some other of my recent victories. Again, the key here is you got to shock the flamethrowers, and if you got the energy for it, the machine guns. You've got to barrage or critter your mines, and this is going pretty well here. This attack. I had stroke of luck there because a couple of my Zookas got through to the engine on the right, really shortened down my time. If the base isn't properly designed, it will draw your troops into that engine on the far right, and that shortens the time down quite a bit. Here's an example where I did a split drop on the left and sent the two boats of clone riflemen down simultaneously to address two different things. Now there, I totally blew the shock on the flamethrower there. And I had lost almost all of my army on the right. Just did a really poor job. I think I put down one extra boat of clone riflemen by accident on the left, but still didn't matter. So this was a really fast time, again, 2 minutes and 41 seconds, and this guy actually has the global leaderboard trophy. So anyhow, so I did a significant amount of barraging there, and then threw down 2 boxes of critters, and then a third, and pretty much wiped out his entire defense on his base. So that worked out really well. Of course, had to worry about that one flamethrower there underneath the sky shield, and pretty much perfectly executed. Okay, this one I actually lost. I'm going to show you this because there is a laser underneath that sky shield, and I was not really paying attention to that, and I should have, and that was the difference. So I just want to give you sort of heads up that you got to look under every sky shield to see is there a laser or not, and you'll understand why in a second when I get in range. So the problem with the laser is that it can kill the Zookas. And before I realized that the laser was going after my Zookas, I already lost enough Zookas that it materially damaged my attack through the end of the attack. So anyhow, he beat me, and that's really the only loss of the last 10 that I've had. So again, keep an eye out for a laser underneath the sky shield. I'm not really sure that it makes sense to spend the money, or the coins rather, unlock tokens to buy a laser, but if you're going to hang out in 4 engines for a super extended period of time, it might make sense. I have to say the work I did on this one to get rid of all those mines, that was pretty much poetry in motion as far as I'm concerned. And sort of amazed myself to how fast those 2 flamethrowers went down, and I didn't even put a shock at them, so it worked out great. Anyhow, I had virtually a complete complement of Zookas addressing the entire end of the attack, so that went really well. Here's another really fast time against a Chinese fella on Facebook. This time I landed my 2 boats on the left simultaneously because I was concerned about those 2 mines. Because again, just little things like that can knock down a whole bunch of Zookas. And while the Zookas, if they hit only 1 mine, won't die, if they hit 2, it's fatal. So on this one I also did quite a bit of extensive barraging to knock down a bunch of mines that he had very strategically placed. And then I had 1 box of critters there that took down a bunch of mines that would have been bad for some of my Zookas at the end in the final assault. All right, and then this one against a player out of Russia. Now I did a split on the left because I had that boom cannon on the far left that I had to deal with. And then a bunch of nasty mines here. So, look what I did here. 1 critter box, a barrage. When I get the energy, I'm going to do another critter box. And a final critter box. And there's just 1 mine there, and that's not enough to kill off a lot of my Zookas, but look, the 1 mine left them all more than half damaged. And by only having that 1 mine left, it made it possible for all of my Zukas to get to the end. Here's an interesting another case. So this flamethrower is on the edge, and I can just land a boat of Zukas and take it out without any cover from the clone rifleman. And then I did a barrage to get rid of some nasty mines there by that engine on the bottom. And then he's got a flamethrower under that sky shield that's kind of problematic. I lost a bunch of clone riflemen there, but it didn't slow me down because it didn't get any of my Zukas. And by that point, the clone riflemen are not as important in finishing the attack. All right, here's the last one that I'm going to show you. So here I landed my troops on the left a little bit to the right because of those mines I was a little bit concerned about. And there's a lot of really nasty mines in this base that are going to be hard to knock out. A little bit late on the critter box there, and then I didn't even put a shock down on that flamethrower. I did use some critter boxes to get rid of a bunch of mines there in the transition between the front of the base and the back of the base. That worked out well. And then I had some extra gunboat energy, so I just threw down a barrage on the last engine just to kill it a little bit faster. All right, let's take a look at the tech tree that I'm using. So I've got the gunboat on level 3. I've got the flare on level 4. I've not opened up this one defensive node. Have not opened up Everspark. I've got shock on level 4. Have not opened up the Shockeneer, the boom cannon, or that gunboat energy node. Have not increased Dr. Vitamin above level 1. Have not opened up smoke or the mech. Have not opened up the stunner or brick. Have not opened up that laser defensive node or the gunboat energy. I've got barrage on level 3. And then looking forward at the 5 engines, it looks like to be competitive, you're going to have the building health, the melon bombardier, I'm guessing also the rocket chopper, and potentially that shock launcher. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give this video a like. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. There's tons of great content on Boom Beach on the channel. And thanks as always to Hercules for help with the video editing.